Hotel room in Miami, August 11th, 2025. Warriors owner Joe Lacob is sitting across from Jonathan Kuminga and his agent. General manager Mike Dunleavy Jr. is in the room too. Lacob asks him one question. Do you want to be here? Kuminga looks back and answers with a question of his own. Do you even want me here? That is not a contract negotiation. That is a breakup conversation. The money is real. $48.5 million over 2 years. But the money alone does not explain this. Playing time is real too. Kuminga goes from a 9-game hot streak to 12 straight healthy scratches. That alone does not explain it either. Even one bad shooting night in Chicago cannot fully explain how 5 years with the only franchise Jonathan Kuminga has ever known just ends. The real reason traces back further, and it ends with Golden State's own general manager going on the record about the one thing you are never supposed to say about a former lottery pick, that there is no market for him. Here is the timeline, and every piece of it is confirmed. July 2021, the Warriors take Jonathan Kuminga 7th overall. A pick owner Joe Lacob reportedly pushed for over Franz Wagner. 10 months later, he is starting a Western Conference semifinal against Memphis at 19 years and 213 days old, the youngest player to start a playoff game since 1971. He wins a championship ring before he can legally rent a car. Now think about that for a second. A teenager, a title, a front office that believed in him enough to draft him ahead of other lottery names. So how does that story end in a trade demand 4 years later? The SF Standard has documented what people around the team call a doom loop. Kuminga flashes real talent, loses head coach Steve Kerr's confidence, gets buried on the bench, then does it again the next season and the one after that. Kerr has said publicly that Kuminga is not the kind of player he wants on the floor for 38 minutes if he is trying to win. That is the coach of a championship roster describing his own former lottery pick as a liability in winning time. But here is where it turns from a role dispute into something uglier. Summer 2025. Kuminga is a restricted free agent. The Warriors tender him a $7.9 million qualifying offer in late June. Over the next 2 months, Golden State's best offer moves from 2 years and $45 million with a team option, up to 3 years and $75 million, then settles at 3 years for $54 million fully guaranteed. Kuminga's side wants something Golden State will not give him, a player option. Real control over his own next contract, not a team's control over him. Phoenix reportedly dangles $80 to $88 million over 4 years with a player option. Sacramento offers $63 to $66 million with the same kind of control attached. 2 rebuilding teams are offering Jonathan Kuminga something the team that drafted him and gave him a championship ring will not. So ask yourself, what does it tell you when a team would rather protect its own flexibility than commit to the player it once bet a top 7 pick on? That question is still hanging in the air when Lacob flies to Miami and asks Kuminga to his face if he even wants to be there. Do you even want me here? Kuminga has been the highest upside player in that room since he was 19. Now he is asking Golden State's own owner if the belief was ever real. Dunleavy, for his part, later calls the whole negotiation fair, reasonable, no issues on my end. 2 very different rooms, 2 very different memories of the same summer. In late September, Kuminga finally signs. 2 years, $48.5 million. And he picks that deal specifically over the bigger 3-year offer because it gets him back to unrestricted free agency faster. He is choosing an exit ramp before the ink is even dry on the deal that is supposed to keep him. Then the season starts. And for a minute, it looks like the doom loop might finally break. Through his first 9 games, all starts, Kuminga averages 17.2 points, 7.1 rebounds, 3.1 assists, shooting over 51% from the field. Then the turnovers creep back in. November 12th, he is diagnosed with tendonitis in both knees. He returns from a 7-game absence and logs 18 minutes against New Orleans. December 8th, Chicago. He shoots 5 for 22. Days later, Kerr pulls him from the rotation entirely. Here is the detail almost nobody outside the building knows. The breaking point was not basketball at all. December 10th, 2025. Kerr calls Kuminga into his office. The trigger, according to ESPN's Anthony Slater, is Kuminga missing a team event and a dispute over someone in his circle taking food from the Warriors' family room. Small stuff, but the meeting does not stay small. Frustrations were let out on both sides, Slater reports. Kerr tells Kuminga he lacks buy-in and competitiveness toward team goals. Kuminga tells Kerr he has never really believed in him as a player, going all the way back. The meeting ends, per that same reporting, with Kerr slamming his whiteboard in frustration. 2 practices later, Kuminga shows real effort. It does not matter. From December 7th to January 20th, he plays in exactly one of the Warriors' next 17 games, 12 of 13. A healthy scratch, in full uniform, never leaving the bench. Kerr later puts it bluntly, "He's got to tell you where he is. I don't have any clarity." January 21st, 2026. ESPN sources confirm what everyone in the building already suspected. Jonathan Kuminga has formally demanded a trade, and this is the moment the story stops being about Kuminga at all and turns into a public argument between his agent and the man running the Warriors' front office. A reporter asks Dunleavy about the demand directly. His answer is ice cold. "As far as demand, I'm aware of that. In terms of demands, there needs to be demand." Translation: nobody is calling. Kuminga's agent, Aaron Turner, does not let that sit. He fires back the same day in public using the GM's own language against him. Demand is sensitive to price or playing time. So, if a seller sees demand is low, lower the price point or let him play and demand will go up. Read that exchange again. That is a general manager and an agent negotiating a former lottery pick's value in the open, like he is a stock that just got downgraded. 15 days later, February 5th, 2026, the answer arrives. The Warriors trade Kuminga and Buddy Hield to the Atlanta Hawks for Kristaps Porzingis, an expiring $30 million contract, 5 seasons, 1 championship ring, 1 7th overall pick, and it ends for an expiring deal. In his final season in Golden State, Kuminga plays only 20 games. Across his whole Warriors tenure, he misses 101 of 379 possible games. Here is where most people stop the story. But it is not over. The Hawks declined Kuminga's $24.3 million option for next season. As of right now, this August, he is an unrestricted free agent. And the market Mike Dunleavy said did not exist has shown up anyway. The Lakers have reportedly offered a 3-year, roughly $45 million sign and trade. Cleveland is chasing him too. Minnesota has entered the mix after missing out elsewhere. Kuminga, by most reports, wants more than $20 million a year. And as of this writing, nobody has closed the deal. So which is it? Was Jonathan Kuminga the disruptive, hard-to-trust piece Golden State's front office is quietly relieved to be rid of? Or is he a 23-year-old former champion who 3 separate franchises are still fighting over right now, this month, while the team that drafted him watches from the outside? Golden State bet a top 7 pick and a championship roster spot on him once. Now 3 other teams are placing that same bet. The one Dunleavy just said had no demand behind it. Watch where Jonathan Kuminga signs, because whichever team wins this free agency is about to find out if the Warriors let go of a problem or gave away a star a year too early.